there's a threat of receivership, and it's gonna cost more to do to go through that receivership route. And what bottom line is, that's gonna impact the money that's gonna come to GMH if DOC goes and receiver. And there is a meeting, there is a court date of May 18th that they have to report, and that's why it's very important that this gets approved today.
It is no secret that the Department of Corrections has been faced with discrepancies in providing adequate medical care to inmates and detainees. Earlier this year, the District Court of Guam set a series of deadlines to ensure the prison facility provides adequate health care to clients. During Thursday night's GMH board meeting, members approved a memorandum of understanding between the hospital and DOC to provide pharmaceutical services, but it came with scrutiny.
After this fiscal year is completed, September 30, if there isn't any funding, then that becomes a concern for the hospital because we don't have funding, and fiscal year for 2016 will be upon us, and no funding, GMH ends up being responsible or taking on just all the expenses that are involved with this. I mean, we can do the build out, we can provide the service until September, but there has to be a plan. GMH can't be the sole responsibility for this.
With the concern that the hospital may end up bearing the cost of providing this service with no reimbursement, the ability of DOC to pay for the services was questioned.
You guys talk with DOC, they've been funding your pharmacy for the past year, every month, right?
Correct.
That came from somewhere. What makes it think that's not going to keep coming on?
Meanwhile, other members of the board share their concerns about what would happen if the agreement was not made, determining that the threat of receivership as a result of inmates and detainees not getting their medication was not an option.
Stepping back just a little bit more and looking at the overall status of the island, yes, it was brought up earlier that we have learned a lesson, or hopefully we've learned a lesson from the receivership. And I'd like to see this stay within our hands, because we know that our pharmacy, based on it being a hospital pharmacy, gets bigger discounts or cheaper prices for its medication. And if we can pass it on as a savings to the rest of Guam, then I'm all for it.
Reporting for Guam's News Network, I'm Jolene Toves.